There we go. And I think this is it.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is a little different parameters because, we're being recorded. So it's a little different. It's a little different thing for me, but if we can go live, we can do a recorded session. Eddie, I'm glad you're here chatting with me. How you doing?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing good. Doing good. Thanks for
Finally, third time's a charm. I mean, we're not live, but hey,
Yeah. We'll post this.
I guess people are going to see this anyway. So
hopefully, I haven't ever posted
sure.
a Zoom video before, so
all right.
Who knows what that'll entail?
Well, yes, exactly. I mean, what else can go wrong?
No, it's all good.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know at this point.
It is all good. We're here. We're doing the thing. And this is what it's all about, is just making it work, and Zoom's got some cool stuff to it too, though.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
You can do all sorts of funny backgrounds and all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So Eddie. Let's I'm trying to switch my gears here to think we're really doing it. It's not live, but it's all good.
Right.
So for the folks that don't know you and people that are not familiar with what you do, can you just kind of give me a quick rundown of who you are and what you do and your group and everything?
Well, yeah, everybody who knows me, they know me as Eddie, right? Eddie O, aka the Blaxican, aka Agent Orange, aka the Invisible Man. And right about now, we're with Joe Kyle right now, and Joe Kyle Entertainment, y'all. You should do like a theme song at the beginning, right?
I know.
You can go to
like something happening on the screen, all credits and everything.
Music makers or something like that, yeah, something like that.
Totally, man. I think you're hired to get the Music Makers theme song.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it. Let's do it. But yeah, so I put together a Funky Beats Initiative back in 2014. After like being in other bands, I was like classic rock bands, the drummer and whatnot, and so that came and went. That was a good experience. The band was called Rock's Edge. A lot of people, they probably heard it. Well, some people have, I don't know. Timberlake Eklund gave us like our break on that one, and we had a really, really good run back in I mean, it's like 2010, 13, something like around that area or whatever. So, but I was in different projects, right? And then none of them really took off. And so one day, my girlfriend Laura, she goes, well, why don't you do put a band together, with music that you like? And bing, I came on. I was like, wow. She goes, you like funk, don't you? You like this, you like that. I was like, wow, you're right. There's nothing like in Salem that, no bands in Salem are doing that. So I tried, and I went to Craigslist and I started looking up, ads like in Portland and wherever and all these other places. Portland, there was like, funk, of course, is in. I mean, this is a bigger market out there, right? So then Salem is like mostly rock, blues, country, what have you, metal. So it was like, I don't know if I'm going to, bring somebody, attract anybody to do this kind of music, So she goes, well, just give it a shot, right? So I did it, and so, back in 2014, like I said, and within like, I don't know, 3-4 months, the first lineup of Funky Beats Initiative was born. So, we've been going at it off and on all this time. I mean, it's like every few months, we change the lineup and whatever, but it is what it is. It started out with just funk music. That's what we did. And then it evolved to like R&B, some pop, danceable pop, disco. And so we've got a pretty good lineup right now, and a very good, set list right now. So it is pretty cool. It comes from like all the way back from the 70s all the way to like today, So we do covers, mostly covers, but, pretty soon we'll be doing like originals and whatnot. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully everybody stays, on board for that, So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, just being in a band and kind of managing the whole band thing and going through members it's just such a labor of love, and it's one of those things. Is the hardest thing about being in a band is having the other band members in the band with you, and scheduling and getting along.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Conflicting creative ideas and direction and stuff. So it's super hard to maintain something like that.
It really is, especially if you're like a 7-piece band like we are currently right now. It's like we have a horn section. We start a horn section. So hopefully when we're done with this thing, we can have we're probably like 9 members deep, and then later on, a little bit further on down that, we're probably looking for a percussionist, as well and stuff, but we do have a saxophone player. This guy's nice. It's so cool hearing horns and stuff like that going on. So
Yeah, it
But
just brings
yeah, the
another level
scheduling.
to brings another level to this music instead of just guitar, drums, bass, and keys or something. You got horn section.
Right,
Like
right,
that's like
yeah,
you're a
right,
band,
right.
a
Oh yeah.
real thing.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So we were wanting to do that for the longest time, but then with the lineups, members coming and going and whatnot, it was really frustrating for that. But last year I felt it was time, to
Sure.
incorporate horns and whatnot. And so yeah, we did it, never looked back. So, we're gonna go hard this next year, 2022, with a full, horn section, including a trombone and trumpet and stuff. So trombone player
Nice.
already picked out. Brian
Nice.
Ginrich, he used to be my music teacher back in high school and stuff. I'm going to look for you, buddy. I'm going to get you. I'm
Nice.
going to get
Nice.
you. I'm going to get you. So it's going to be pretty cool with that. So,
Nice.
yeah, it was, he was a nice guy, good guy. He's a great guy. He loves this kind of music as well. And he wants to, be a part of it when COVID hit, hardcore last year. And he just says, you know what, I'd love to do it, but COVID, he just didn't want any of that, being in, any gigs and whatnot, or close quarters with people and whatnot. So he kind of bowed out, but he said once this thing kind of gets lifted and everything, when the times change and whatnot, he wants me to give him a call back and we'll figure something out. So yeah.
Did COVID almost kind of seal the deal on the Funky Beats initiative? Did it threaten the existence of that project, or just kind of put it on a hiatus?
The thing was when it happened, before it really happened, we had let me see, it was like I had a totally different lineup before. That really took us out. Was that everybody quitting, everybody except for me, and I was gonna throw in the towel. I says, you know what, I'm done, whatever. Then, I got a phone call later on from somebody who knew somebody, and then I got a lead singer named Michelle. She came in and she goes, well, we need to rebuild this thing. We need to reel this thing. And I want to sing and whatnot, right? I was like, okay. So then one by one built the band right back up again, and then last October, I'm sure you're familiar with the local icon, Ralph Smith, who passed away,
yes.
RIP to him, he passed. And so,
got a phone call.
Really cool guy in the name of Tony Mata. I'm sure you've heard of him too.
Yeah.
You're good. He asked us, if we would, do that benefit and whatnot, back last October of last year. And so he said that, I'm like, well, why, how did our name come up, about, things? Cause, we were in hiatus and he didn't know it, And so he goes, well, before Raul passed, he really liked you guys. And then when I wanted to put together a benefit, whatnot, I asked his lovely wife, Rebecca, hey man, what kind of bands would Ralph would have wanted to see and whatnot. And so she mentioned us by name, it's like, wow, that was what an honor, man. So, one by one, like I said, we put the band together, real quick. And so, that was our last lineup that we put together. And that was super fun. And then, but before that, when COVID really hit, we were doing Zoom meetings and whatnot, and getting the morale back up and everything. So, all in all, it worked out pretty good, So, but as far as COVID itself taking the band out, that really no. I mean, the band basically took itself out when everybody quit or whatever,
Yeah.
But COVID, what's cool thing about talking to Tony Mata is like, he goes, now is the time, like when everything's on lockdown, he goes, now is the time that, you need to put Funky Beats Initiative back together. Do your Zoom meetings, do what you got to do. Cause right now everybody, a lot of people are throwing in the towel. They're like, oh, we're not going to do nothing for years. And He goes, no, he goes, this ain't going to last very long, bro. He said, he goes, right now is the time to, act, be proactive, get your band tight, get your songs tight, get everything tight. Because once everything gets lifted, he goes, us musicians, we're going to go back out there. We're going to kick ass. Right. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah. So that, was a really, really good plan. And I've noticed a lot of bands, they did that. They followed that same, formula and whatnot. They didn't let COVID discourage them or break them apart, whatever. They just, they dug down deep and they got creative, and they started putting their set lists together and whatnot. And, you can see a lot of bands out there right now because of that, they're tight as ever, man. And it's really, really inspiring.
Yeah. Do you guys have any plans on like recording or like writing original material to kind of incorporate that, or like what do you see your let's say a year from now or and then 5 years from now, what's your
let's
your
go
plan?
A month from now. Let's go a month from now.
Okay.
All
yeah.
right?
Let's start from
I'm thinking like short term, like right now, right?
Sure,
like everybody in the band is really fired up, right? We really want to go out there on stage and throw together a 2-hour show at least, 2 or 3 hour show. Here in about another 3 weeks, we could probably be ready for a 2-hour show. So if there's any venues out there who wants to, hear something different.
Sure. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So then New Year's Eve as well. We're going to have like 3 hours worth of music on, New Year's Eve. So if there's any venues out there, parties, anybody who wants, to funk something up here, right here,
Nice.
Right here, we'll be ready, New Year's Eve and whatnot. But as far as recordings, yeah, we're thinking about that. We've been talking about it, going in, doing some demos and stuff, and then eventually incorporating originals as well. Nice. Always want to do originals, always wanted to, but we just can't get people to stick around. But this lineup,
sure.
These people are, really dedicated, they're really, really, really cool people and stuff, and so they really want to stick around for the long haul. And that sounds, very, very nice, so it's like, I have 2 lead singers, they're awesome. Emily and Elka, and then we have a guitar player. Her name is Kathy. She's insane, dude. Wait till you see her. Wait till you guys see her, man. And then we have a saxophone player, Danny. And so our guitar player, his name's David, and the keyboard player, is Richard. So, we all have our own little stage names, like FBI, Funky Beats Initiative, FBI. So we're all like agents and whatnot. We have our agent names up there. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, but we will be ready, to rock the house here, really, really soon.
Where did the name come from? How did the inception of the FBI Funky Beats Initiative come from? I want to hear that backstory, because there's got to be some sort of cool backstory.
It is. It's kind of explicit in nature in some ways, but what we wanted to do was come up with a name that incorporated funk in it. That's what I did. Like, I wrote down like 30 different names of possibilities and whatnot. And so one of the ones that stood out was like this a band, because we wanted a big band, we wanted a big sound, we wanted big everything. So I came up with the name like Funkasaurus. Right?
That's awesome.
And that and it, it was kind of cool sounding. Everybody's like, yeah, Funkasaurus, yeah. So we kind of got, thinking about like a mascot or whatever, and Ethan Mann was our original bass player. Johnny Rincon was our original, lead singer. So these guys were really good at drawing. So they drew a little mascot, and it turned out to be a Funkasaurus Rex, right? A Tyrannosaurus Rex right. With an afro, glasses. It was so
That's
cool.
Awesome.
And everybody was digging it, right? And it's like, I was thinking about like having a costume made. So when we're out there playing, jamming out, Funkasaurus Rex comes out and just does his thing. But that never materialized, only because one of the members or whatever goes, oh, I can't stand that name. To me, it sounds like a sore ass or whatever, just like, dude, man, what a party pooper, man. So we kind of got together, put our heads back together again. Then Johnny Rincon, he came up with the name, Funky Beats Initiative. And we're like, ooh, that sounds kind of cod. Sounds kind of cool, and he goes, or FBI. I'm like, oh, snap, right? And so that's basically the concept right there, So then everybody goes, well, we're going to be dressed up as when we get out there, go out there, right? And well, not FBI agents. Why not that,
Yeah.
And so that, so that's how our look came about, So it's like the guys are dressed, just like FBI agents, right? Like Men in Black or whatever, But we get a lot of props for that, and our singers are the ladies, they kind of like, they do like the opposite. They kind of like, not, I wouldn't say clash, but it's like they compliment us by wearing bright colors and whatnot, being divas and stuff. Right. It's so cool to look. I mean, we have pictures on funkybeatsinitiative.com, and you can see all that. And then as well as like our Facebook page as well too. And stuff. You can see all our outfits and whatnot. And we get a lot of love from everybody with our appearance, not only that, but also the songs that we do and stuff. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, what's like let's hear like top 5 over the years staples or something that you guys really always have in your repertoire.
Oh man, well, right off the bat, our strongest song that we do is Uptown Funk from Bruno Mars. Everybody loves himself some Bruno, right? And so we do Lady of Marmalade as well, and then we do Boogie Oogie Oogie. That's another strong one that we do. Our opener is oh my goodness, not Boogie Nights. We do that song as well, but Groove Line. So that song there, that right there, that really kicks it off. And then we do a couple other songs that people are really not familiar with. All Good in the Hood from Jamiroquai. So yeah, we got a lot of really cool stuff going on there, in our set list. It's diversified as far as like genres go, dance genres and stuff, and eras and whatnot. Like I said, we cover stuff from the 70s all the way to like this year, you know what I mean? So
right.
So it's a really good variety. We attract a young crowd, older crowd and whatnot. So it's a really cool project to be, and I'm very proud of it. Everybody, throws in their little 2 cents as far as adding songs in, and we're like, oh hell yeah, let's throw that one down. Yeah. So as long as it's within the realm of what, what Funky Beats Initiative is about. We'll throw it on the set list or we'll give it a run and see what happens, when we're practicing and stuff. So yeah, it's a really cool process.
So how long you been playing drums? When did you start? Where are you a Salem native, or you hail from this area? Or
well, I was originally born in Portland, and then I was raised in Woodburn.
Okay.
And so then I went to Pasco, Washington for a couple of years, got homesick, came back. And so then back in, like, I want to say 92 is when I bought my first drum set.
Okay.
And so I actually started playing drums when I was originally 5th grade.
Wow. Okay.
Teacher and we loved each other so much. I needed to get out of that room so bad. So, it was like, she was like, she came out and she goes, so, who wants to do band this year? And, and she starts, like, here's how much the instruments are going to cost for rent and this, da, 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 da. We're like, it's like, man, we were broke as a joke, right? So it's like, man, how can I get out of this room? But how can I also afford these instruments and whatnot? My mom was working 2-3 jobs and whatnot and trying to make ends meet and stuff. So, she goes, well, here's, she passed out like the price list for the rentals of some of these instruments. And it was even back then, back in the early 80s, it was wild, man, And so I looked down the drums. It was like 99 cents for a pair of drumsticks. I'm like, I got that in my pocket, bro. Sold, hell yeah. Where's the band teacher? Where do I meet this guy, right?
Right.
So then went to the band class, and he came out, and he had all the instruments out on the table, and he went and introduced everything and whatnot. Jim Langford was his name. And he, yeah, he played every instrument on the table, man. That guy was hot. He was something else. Very talented guy. Trumpet was his forte. I mean, this guy could blow like Doc Severinsen and stuff. Man.
Wow,
I mean,
cool.
He could shatter glass. I mean, he hit those high notes that only dogs could hear, man. I was like, damn.
Doc Severinsen's from Oregon, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He lives
from
in
like
the Dalles, I think.
Ontario.
Yeah, Ontario. I think he lives in the Dalles right now. But yeah, he is definitely from Oregon. Yeah. Nice. So. When he got to the drums, he got on the snare drum, right? And he started doing all these, like military style rudiments and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ooh. I had an afro at the time, right? So that thing just started waving around like, whoa.
Pulsating.
Hair on my arms. Yeah, it was pulsating, man. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to get some of this, right?
So just called to you.
That's
like
basically where it started.
Yeah.
It really did. And so, throughout the years, it's like, while I was getting more and more and more into playing and stuff, my dad told me one day, he goes, yeah, you got a second cousin who's also a drummer too. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, that's cool. He goes, you want to know who he is? And so he broke out an album from the Commodores, right?
Whoa.
And he goes, your cousin's right there, Walter Orange. I'm like, get the hell out of town. And he said, no, for real. He goes, I know his mama back in this and that. And he told me how it all tied together. And I was like, wow. Oh, my goodness, my cousin's Walter from the Commodores. Wow.
That is cool.
So it is cool. So from that moment on, I was like, one of my life, long, I guess, dreams or whatever to actually meet the guy. So 2 years ago, we actually met him at the state fair. That was really cool.
Wow.
I had a big old sign, that my girlfriend made, and she, it said like, hey, cousin Walter, Eddie O says hi or something or whatever. And as he was doing his thing, going down the stage and getting all the sections of the crowd all fired up and whatnot, he saw my sign and he goes, oh, cousin Eddie, oh yeah, Eddie O's in the house, y'all. And they were all yelling, all right. So we actually, after the show, got to meet him, backstage and stuff. So that was awesome. Got a couple pictures taken and whatnot with him and stuff, man. Cool experience, man. I'll never forget that.
That's awesome. So yeah, it sounds like it's kind of like one of those things when you're a kid, you're banging on pots and pans, and then
that's exactly what it was.
To the paint 5-gallon buckets and everything. Yeah, man.
Yep. That's exactly,
and that's what's so funny about, like, it's kind of a calling, and it's just something that kind of just digs its teeth in you, and it doesn't let go, and
right. For a lot of people, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
go ahead. A lot of people, they'll try drums first, and they'll go to another instrument. They finally find their thing, and I started drums first too, like I said, the pots and pans and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Mom coming home screaming, hey, my pots and pans, who did these? And of course they point at me, so, I've tried the bass, I tried guitar, piano, whatever. My fingers just aren't no dexterity in them whatsoever. So, which is cool. So I went back to the drums, and so it's always been, it's a fun thing. It's a really fun thing, get your aggressions out after your 9 to 5 and whatnot. So,
yeah. But, so did you do like marching band or anything like that in school?
I did all that. Yeah, I did all that.
Band and
marching,
everything.
Pep, whatever. swing. You name it. I was in every band and stuff, and it was very fun. I learned to play just about every percussion instrument on the table as well and stuff. And with Mr. Langford, Mr. Gingrich and stuff. Those guys were great mentors, great teachers, very patient with me, of course, because you can tell I'm a very serious guy, right? So, but yeah, it's like they saw something in me or something, man, because they just let me sometimes just riff on certain songs and whatnot. I would see the music and I'm like, I turn it around and I throw in my own thing. I listen to all the other instruments and stuff. Okay, now this would sound cool. And I start doing some stuff. And sometimes they, teacher, they dug it. Sometimes they just shook their head like, no, dude.
Get back to
exactly. Get to the
get back
music,
to the
dude.
paper. Yeah,
exactly.
Get back to the paper.
So that was cool that they kind of let me find my way in a certain way where they just didn't box me in and whatnot, and so that was really cool with those guys, what they did, and so, fast forward here, a couple of years, years later or whatever and stuff, when I first bought my first drum set, then I really, really got to hone in on, on my own style and whatnot.
Was it hard to find like practice time away from school? Like, did you have a place where you could practice drums at home? Because I know that's a big thing for drummers starting out, especially kids,
Yeah, for
I've got a drum set in my room, but I can only play it, during the day, or I'm in an apartment or whatever. So it's a super hard instrument for kids to get into,
it really
have a space for drums.
Yep, absolutely.
Space.
Well, for me, at first I was just started, playing with a practice pad.
Sure.
And so, and then when I was like in the 6th or 7th grade, I was like the only drummer out of like 8 or 9 that was left-handed. And the drum set was set up for a right-handed person, right? So it was just so unorthodox to me to start.
So you're playing left-handed kit to this day?
No, I don't. I play on a right-handed kit.
Okay.
And so that was the thing that was kind of cool too, is that Mr. Langford let me take the drum set home for the summer.
Wow.
And so, cool. Yeah, it was really super cool because he goes, don't steal this thing because I'll find you and I'll kill you. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm just going to play, bro. Man,
I'm just going to play it, man.
I'll give it back. What am I going to play with when I bring it back to school? You know what I'm saying? I go, so, I can't steal this thing. So, yeah, I practiced, for like 2 months and whatnot. We picked berries, during the day, and I'd come home and, take a shower, get behind the kit and just start, finding my way around and trying to get some coordination down and whatnot, and my older brother was like, well, why don't you play this way with your left hand on the hi-hat instead of your right hand? And I was like, son of a, okay. So I started playing open-handed.
Open hand, yeah.
I did that during the summer, and then I learned to like play with my right hand on the ride. So then when school came back again, I was playing either way. And when I first did that, when I first showed my band teacher and everybody else how I could play not only right-handed but also left-handed too, it blew a lot of people away, man. So it's just like so yeah, it was really cool. And so they said, I got an advantage over a lot of the other guys because being on the right-handed kit and everybody else being right-handed, they're only going to play right-handed, right? Where I had the option of going either way and stuff, and so to this day I mix it up.
Nice.
Even when I'm playing live and stuff, so that was really, really, really very helpful for me as far as that goes.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a cool story. Is there any like drummers, I guess besides your cousin that has been been influential to you and kind of instrumental? No pun intended.
Yeah, but no. Gotta love Alex Van Halen, right?
Okay.
And,
wow.
Neil Peart, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Those are rock drummers.
They are. Well, I grew up in Woodburn, right? I was the only brother up in there, man. So I was forced.
Sure.
And that was a cool thing about being in Woodburn as well. It's like I grew up like in the church, listening to gospel music and whatnot. And then later on, hanging out with my friends, it was all of the rock. AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, whatever. And then rap came, and that was just boom, blew my mind, right? And so that was another thing, and so then being in school playing jazz band, pep band, and so I've been bombarded with music all my life, different genres and stuff, and country as well and stuff, and so it's really, really cool how I feel like I'm a very diversified person as far as music goes and stuff. So a lot of my influences go in my playing as well and stuff, so yeah, I mean, it's like I can't just narrow down one drummer, two drummers or whatever. There's all kinds out there.
And really a lot of those drummers in those bands, especially like in the 60s and 70s, were traditional jazz drummers that they were kind of got R&B. Like Jimi Hendrix drummer was a jazz drummer, Cream, right. Ginger Baker was a jazz drummer, but he played rock, and a lot of those dudes kind of just and in a lot of those, even if as a guitar player, I'm a guitar player myself, and a lot of those blues riffs and those jazz riffs and those funky riffs, those it's really just all music, and it's really about that they bleed over the cross genre. Exactly. Good music is good music, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and so yeah, I get that to where you're not just like
one track mind.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's so great about music is you can explore culture and the world and emotions and just everything through that, and that's,
Absolutely. I look at it this way, like a good salad has more than one ingredient, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So music has, all these different genres going in, into a certain person's style or whatnot. It just makes it cool, man,
Sure.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hey, there's a few things on my radar that I was going to let you know about. I'm working with this youth. It's a nonprofit youth crisis center called the Salem Drop here in Salem, Oregon.
Okay.
And I'm trying to help them get like music instruments and like build the studio for them. And they're kind of currently shut down for the pandemic. But what I'd really like to do and get local people involved in is getting donations from, people that have music instruments just sitting in their closets that they're not using, that these kids can get into their hands and start playing.
Yeah, for sure.
But also maybe putting some fundraising shows together. And so where there's like all ages safe shows for these kids to do, and your style of music, I think it would be a good thing to have, because you kind of cross generation, cross genre like that.
Yep.
But
count us in.
Shoot. Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Send me info, bro. Send me some info.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll talk together with the rest of the band, and they'll be in for sure.
But then another thing is I'd love to do is like set up some workshops to where I've got local musicians that come in and say, hey, I'm just going to give you, a half an hour or an hour workshop. Like, this is the basics. This is the fundamentals of tuning a kit, or like tuning guitar, basic theory, basic, or even just talking to these kids, and being involved in like just being in their lives and being involved and showing them that, music can be such a bigger thing than it is on the surface. If you're not a musician, like on the outside, you kind of say, yeah, it's fun and everything. But really, when it comes down to music, teaches you so much about life and your interaction with other people. You have to learn how to get along with people.
Sure.
You have to have discipline to learn your instrument and train your mind and train your body. And it opens your mind to, possibilities that you weren't aware of, so I'd really like, I'd love to just kind of share some of that with you. It's called the Youth Music Initiative, and you can find it on my website. There's a little bit of blurb about it, but I can send some stuff your way, man.
Absolutely.
But I'd love to get, like a live show going.
Oh yeah.
Benefit show or fundraiser show to just kind of get the music going, get
absolutely
funkiness happening and stuff.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. We're down for days. That's awesome, do that, man. Awesome. In this town, it is full of good music. A lot of people really don't think about that, or they don't accept that or whatever. But I hear a lot of cool stuff coming out, out in the airwaves and whatnot.
Sure.
There's, airwaves and also like live shows too and stuff. So I mean, and it's like, you got your older bands that have been around forever and whatnot. I mean, they're still kicking it, and they sound great still, and then you got the newer bands coming up, right? It's like for country, for instance, Joey James, that guy, he's my boy. Sure. We're friends. Joey James, he's signed to he's got a record going on right now, right?
Okay.
He's also he's got a record called the Professional Drinker and whatnot. I highly recommend you guys check that record out, man. It is awesome from front to back. Every song on there is solid, man. And
nice.
And what's really cool too about that album is that one of Dolly Parton's producers produced his album.
Okay.
So you could really hear, a lot of good professionalism going on in that album, and it's really, really super cool. He wrote all the songs on there, and he has a really good vibe about him, man. And like I say, he's a country guy, so I love country music myself. I like all kinds of music, right? So right. He's definitely a guy, check it out, and so hopefully he could probably put something in the comments and whatnot, like his links and whatnot too. And
sure,
then then another newer band out there that's out right now, Nikki Jones, she does the blues and whatnot.
Okay.
This band's hot as well. I highly recommend you guys go check her out. These guys, all her band is solid. They're putting an album together right now. So, check her out for sure. And then whatever Tony Mott, of course, touches, man. I mean, that guy is just like the hardest working guy in Salem. I highly recommend y'all check his shows out as well.
He's in a couple of bands. Is he still is he in Pitch Black Mass, or was that a different band?
It's no, he's still in that. It's well, he was in that. What was that? I think that one went somewhere else. So he's one called Moonlit Madness.
One of them. Okay, yeah.
And then the other one, I think it was Pitch Black. But yeah, you're right. I forget what the other one was called. But yeah, he's in that one too. So he had a show the other night, a birthday bash, and one up in Portland, I think, and stuff. I missed it, but I'm sure that was hot.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
hey, Eddie, I really appreciate you and everything you do. It's really important to have kind of like a collaborative mindset when we're in such a small fishbowl
Right, right,
of
yeah.
musicians, and there's a lot
Right,
of
for
people
sure.
that aren't, that they either think they're too cool or they're, whatever the case may be, egos get in the way.
Yeah.
But man, I get a good vibe from you, and I had fun. We actually, Dane was the one that was just calling me right now.
Oh,
He's
for real? Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's a cool cat right there too.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So shout out to Dane for helping us
Absolutely.
musicians out, and then Tamberly.
Oh,
A
Tamberly, yeah,
big shout
yeah.
out to
Dora King,
Tamberly.
that's another
Yep,
one. The
yep,
Dora King, you got to give
exactly.
her some love too, man.
Absolutely,
Yeah, they're both
absolutely.
of them, both of the Tamberly and Dora. They're both good friends of the band and stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So it's always nice to hear their name, being out there and whatnot.
Absolutely, and they've done so much for the scene, and their attitudes are just collaborative and open and welcoming.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
it's just such an important thing to have in our little music scene.
Yeah.
Our little chunk of
What
the
little they
earth.
do. Well, I mean, they don't do a little; they do a lot.
They
And
do a
what
lot.
they do, it's like, how can you ignore it? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Absolutely.
they're both full of love. They're both full of energy. They love what they do. They love all music too. And that really helps and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she's always giving everybody props all day long, man. And that's too cool. We need more of that, right? And as far as musicians too, I think that Salem has a good attitude when it comes to that too. You're right. I have a lot of musicians who normally don't listen to us, but when they heard us at Honky Tonk last year, I had people come to me left and right like, "Oh my gosh!" He goes, "This town needs this kind of music, right? We don't normally hear this stuff, but you guys rock, And these guys are rockers, they're metal heads and whatnot, and they loved us, right? And I thought, man, that is so cool how these guys are like pumping us up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really believe that as musicians, we're a family. We should lift each other up. Share some camaraderie with each other and whatnot. It's cool when that happens, instead of people going, whoa, these guys are funk guys, these guys are rock guys. Oh, stay away from these guys, right?
Sure.
No, I really don't feel that way about a lot of people around here. A lot of people are like, they really promote us a lot, and that's really, really super cool. And I like to see venues, local venues as well, and I'll kind of like take that chain, take that lead as well, and like open up for different genres and stuff. That would be really cool too,
Absolutely.
And I mean, because this is a very diversified town, whether people want to admit it or not, and it's like there's room for everybody, and that's really special.
There is room for everybody, and it's you're only helping by sending a good vibe somebody's way, or sharing their stuff, or buying their merch, or coming to their shows, and it's kind of sad because I feel like this town hasn't quite bounced back from COVID yet, and we're still finding our legs. I know. But there's a fraction of the venues that are doing music as there was 2 years ago,
right. Yeah.
And it's just, I get it. We're all trying to do our best to be safe and on everything and navigate the turbulent, landscape and stuff.
Sure.
But we got to get back out there. We got to keep the shows going. We got to do masked shows or distant outdoor shows or whatever we need to do just to keep the music has got to stay alive, and it brings a lot of people together, and it does a lot of good.
Right.
Do a lot of good with it, kind of like this youth thing that I'm talking about with the Salem Drop and stuff. And, there's just so much benefit from having this in the community. It's the glue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That spans the genres, and it spans the demographic span, and we just need more of it. So
absolutely. Yes.
Well, hey man, it was such a good conversation that we finally got to work. This isn't a live stream, so I'm gonna finish this recording eventually here and figure out how to post it. Hopefully, and then that's what we should do after that. After we can get this one posted, we'll do another one. We're gonna keep messing with your Facebook to where you can get it. We're gonna get it to work, man. So
we'll do it. For sure. Even if we have to be in the same room or something.
Absolutely,
right?
And I think
do that. I mean,
I think that's a possibility for sure. And I've got I think I might have a little bit of a podcast studio that I can like rent or borrow for a special exclusive, like a seated.
Call me.
Yeah.
Call me. I'll be there. Call me.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, again, let everybody know your website, and do you have any shows booked right now? Or you
right now? No, we're working on it. We should be ready to do a 2-hour show like any day now.
Awesome.
So if anybody's interested, holler, at me, or Joe, or
awesome.
Anybody who knows us, man, and
Absolutely.
just get the word out, get the word to me, and we'll make it happen for real. So we, like I said, we will be ready to do a 2-hour show here really soon, within weeks. We'll do a 3-hour show. We'll be ready for New Year's Eve. We want to do a New Year's Eve show so bad, and so we'll be ready for that as well. So
awesome.
Yeah, we'll have like hopefully have Stymie on the soundboard and whatnot, and maybe my friend Jack Davis on the lights. We got these two guys are awesome too, man. They're really good friends of the band. When we do shows, they make us look and sound so killer, man. So
have a full sound system and subs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Kick drum with going through the subs.
You know it, man. And I run triggers on my drums, right? So it's like a lot of my triggers, have on my kick drums, I have them set up differently, for each song, and I try to have it sounding like the original and whatnot. So there's a couple songs here with an 808, kick drum on there.
Nice.
Oh, shake your soul, man. It's
that's
so
awesome.
cool, right? So
hell yeah.
So yeah. So it's like a lot of cool cats here live in this town. We support each other, and you as well and stuff. So yeah, I'd like to see you guys, do a show here real soon too, So, but absolutely. Yeah, if anybody wants us to play, just holler. We'll do weddings, whatever.
I'm gonna take you up on that that benefit show, and we'll do like a show to where it's a free show, but we're taking donations for the youth, and that way you guys can cut your teeth on a new spot. Maybe we can get a couple other funk bands in there, or cross genre show.
Sure. Oh, I would love that. I would love to do cross genre shows.
I will keep you in the loop, and I will keep in contact, and we'll keep in touch, and we'll just go from there. So everybody, website one more time, Eddie, for everybody.
FunkyBeatsInitiative.com.
Awesome.
I know it's a long name, but you just gotta work those fingers, man.
It's easy to remember. FBI.
Right, yeah, FBI, Funky Beats Initiative, right? Okay, for you guys who are like farsighted, it's this right here, Funky Beats Initiative. All right. Okay.
Awesome, man. Hey, well, it was such an honor to chat with you. Thank you.
Likewise.
With me and hanging in there. We had a lot of trouble getting this together, but we ended up doing it on Zoom. So I'll get this posted, man. Good chatting with you, and we're gonna do it again soon.
Yes,
we'll stay tuned, man.
One more thing.
Certainly.
It was a pleasure, hanging out with you when we did that. When we judged the karaoke thing.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was great.
Really cool, and it was really cool too. Is like people approached me afterwards. They're like, "I think you judges called it right." I was like,
that's awesome. I've never done anything like that before.
Neither have I. I mean, it was really, really cool. Yeah, I would love to do something like that again.
It would be fun to do that with bands or something, have like a grand prize and get like a sponsor to do the grand prize for the band, like a PA system or like a couple of guitars or something.
Yeah, something that would be.
Or like with this youth or something, we can get like a youth battle of the bands or
that would be cool.
Something like that to where we're the judges.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
I love the power of being a judge on it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, anything musical, related would, for me would be great, man.
Absolutely.
It's like I do have a 9 to 5, right? And that's cool. That's fine and dandy and all that,
Sure.
But it'd be nice to have like work full time doing music stuff and stuff like that too. But the thing is too is that it's like right now my 9 to 5 does pay the bills and whatnot and stuff, and so it's like I'm 5'11". 260 pounds, man. So I need some of that money, man, for groceries and stuff, man. Because I'm.
So here's a. Is that a Muchos?
It's a Muchos burrito, bro.
So what's the difference between a musician and a pepperoni pizza?
Mm-hmm.
A pepperoni pizza can feed a family of 4.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, enjoy your dinner. Thank you again for making it happen with me. We're going to schedule another one. We're going to keep in touch, and we're going to make sure everybody knows that Funky Beats Initiative is out and ready to do some stuff.
Absolutely. A lot of stuff.
Man. All right, man. Thank you again so much.
Thank you too, Joe.
And we'll see you around.
Peace out.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Bye.